for the Q&A.
Here is a question from Micah.
Hi, Micah.
He says, hello, Ethan. Over the past year, I've gone from 331 pounds to 262 pounds.
Amazing.
He says, thanks to good old proper diet and exercise, primarily kickboxing. I've been keeping track of my calories and I've been in a deficit with periods of maintenance. My question is, while in a deficit, I sometimes have calories left over each day. Should I always consume the calories in a deficit, or are some left over after the day okay? I tend to not be hungry when I have those calories left over and don't want to force myself to eat if I'm not hungry. And then he says, you are an inspiration to all the big guys out there.
Hey, thanks, Micah. I actually don't think you have to eat those calories, but I would be weary of allowing that deficit to get too big, number one, and then also pay close attention to if you do find yourself with leftover calories but not hungry. Yeah, okay, don't force feed yourself. Um, but a week or two in, if you become like ravenously hungry, I would watch out for overeating or binge eating or allowing it to knock you. Again, this is mostly anecdotal stuff I'm relaying here, but I know for myself that I can kind of push through for a while, but then there will come a point where hunger and my freaking out hormones can cause me to be like to regress, to do stuff that I otherwise wouldn't do. So if I go to the store without a very clear plan on what I'm getting and I'm hungry, I might put stuff into my cart that I otherwise wouldn't. If I go to a restaurant and I'm overly hungry, I might make a bad decision with quantities or even types of food. Um, and I don't always notice that hunger, right? It's not like I'm not I don't think I'm in perfect tune with my body all the time, because otherwise I wouldn't have the problems I have physically. So I've got to kind of be thinking above just existing in my body. Um, and sometimes that means, I wouldn't skimp on stuff like protein. Like if you're paying attention to your protein intake at all, and you're finding like, well, I didn't get all my protein today. Okay, no big deal. But if you see that that's become consistent, I wouldn't skimp on that. I would get that in um, before I worried about my fats and carbs. If I was having trouble getting it all down, or even just like, you know, I'll sometimes start digging into my boneless, skinless chicken breast and feel like I don't need to eat any more of this, but I got plenty of room for rice, you know.
Yeah.
Um, and so, I would just be weary of those types of things.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny what you just said there about like, yeah, I don't want any more chicken, but I can eat more rice. It's like certain things just
Right.
have they satisfy you in a different way, or they taste better or whatever,
Yeah, I couldn't eat another bite of my salad, but I definitely have room for dessert.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that people argue about calories. Calorie is just like a metric for measuring energy, but there are different ways that different energies go to systems in the body, and um, protein is super helpful if you're trying to diet and if you want to retain lean tissue while losing weight. Like it's just really a great nutrient. And so if you go like, I have 2,000 calories today or 1,500 and I'm just going to eat Pop Tarts, you know I don't think all calories are equal in that sense. They are equal because it is just a unit of measurement, but I don't think all foods are equal.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense. Okay, great. Well, thank you for that answer, Micah. Thank you for your question. If you have a question you'd like Ethan to answer, send it to us at americanglutton.net.